Hello and welcome back once again to another video. In this one we have a sewage blockage that's flooding our restaurant. We have a drainage problem in a pub that turns out not to be a drainage problem. And we also have another restaurant that we're doing a service on that is very greasy that we do with the Picote machine. Enjoy.
Hello, I'm on TV. If you like this video, give a thumbs up and make sure to hit subscribe at the end.
Well, here we are at the restaurant. They have a courtyard at the back, and as you can tell, this is a wellies job because it is flooded with sewage everywhere. Now, I do happen to know there's a manhole over by that door on the left-hand side, so we'll see if we can find that, because apparently that's the downstream chamber from the one on the right. So, the access to the car park is through a hotel. So I asked very nicely if I could reverse my van up to that post, and the owner of the hotel said to me, "No, you're not doing it today. This is Saturday, okay? Saturday morning." He said, "If you want to get your van in here, you're not doing it until Tuesday." To which I said they have sewage about to flood into their restaurant, and the owner said to me, "I don't care, you can do it on Tuesday or not at all." So he's been very awkward, so I'm not going to get the jetter in here, so we're going to have to hope that we can clear it with rods. I don't know what his problem was, but yeah, I didn't want to have a big argument about it, so we'll try with rods and see where that gets us. Luckily I've got a magnet in the van that made it nice and easy to find the cover. So, 4-inch plunger disc on the end of a long rod. We're going to try and find the outlet, which I think goes this direction. Yes, it does. And we're going to try and rod it and hope for the best. Well, looking at the way that's moving, I think we got lucky with that one. Now, what I would have liked to have done really is jetted this. If I could have found a downstream chamber, I would have jetted back to here. But yeah, I couldn't find a downstream chamber, and obviously I didn't want to have a big argument with the guy in the hotel. But at least the water level's gone down, and hopefully that's going to stop the place flooding. We just got to work out how we're going to clean this up. I think it might be a bucket job. So the cover closest to us, I recommended changing that because there's a hole in it. I also noticed the downpipe, the rainwater pipe to the left of us now, the bend snapped on it as well, so I'm going to recommend changing that as well. Obviously, this would have been a lot easier with a jet. So I think what we're going to do here is recommend a camera survey of the main line downstream from here, A, to find out where it goes, and B, to see if we can find out what caused the blockage. So with that job done, I headed home for the weekend, and my next job was on Monday, where we are going over to Welsh Wells, for a pub that reckon they have overflowing, flooding toilets that's coming up through the flooring. Okay, remember that. A plumber has been here, he's disconnected the water, and he says it's not the water, it's definitely sewage that's coming up through. So here we are, and apparently where those mop heads are, sewage is coming out of that wall. Now there's a manhole in here, we've got urinals, toilets and everything, so we're going to start by popping the cover up and seeing if there's a blockage under there. Well, looking at the manhole to start off with, it seems all clear. Now what I want to know is under the sink there's a metal plate on the wall. What's behind the metal plate? Well, it turns out nothing at all. And there wasn't nothing much visible behind the lino either that's hanging off the wall. So I've got the water back on, I'm going to flush some toilets and run some sinks and things like that, and we should see it all come through this manhole. That was the gents' toilet. Now, for some reason, the plumber's completely disconnected the water on this one and put a little cap in the end of it. So that water I tipped down there come from a mop bucket. This next one is from the ladies' toilets. So after testing absolutely everything other than this sink, I decided to put the water back on for the sink and try the sink out. I was thinking maybe it's a waste pipe leaking or something like that. So I turned the water on and quite quickly noticed what the problem was and where the water was coming from. I don't know how the plumber didn't notice this. Did you see it? Don't know if you caught that one. I'll show you what the problem is in a minute, but we'll just check that the sink is flowing through the manhole, which it is. It's coming down the same pipe on the left hand side of the chamber. Again, I don't know how the plumber missed this one, but if we look under this right hand cold tap, see that leak? Yeah, I think that's where the water's coming from. I won't leave the footage in because you can't see a thing what I'm doing, but I wrapped some PTFE tape around the threads after disconnecting the nut, and then did the nut back up. Now I know the plumber's got to come back and reconnect the gent's toilet water that he disconnected for some reason. So I'll get him to double check this fit and make sure it's not leaking when he comes back, or do whatever he needs to do with it. But yeah, I'm just going to do it nice and tight, and hopefully that is going to solve the problem. Nice and easy. Well, let's get the water back on and we'll give it a test. Well, I actually put the water on a little bit too quickly, so I'm just going to turn it down a bit so it's not splashing all around the room when people use the sink. For some reason, it's got really good pressure, this tap, when it's open full, unlike the hot tap. Well, it's looking promising and I'm not seeing any leaks, so I think we've solved this one. I think we'll just tweak the water pressure up a little bit more because I did put it down a little bit too low. But yeah, that's us done on this one. Everything seems to be working, no leaks or anything. We'll put the hot water back on and we're good to go. Well, it's now Tuesday morning and we are going to another one of those restaurants where we do a regular drain service here. But this time, it was very greasy. So this cupboard was actually under the unit, and we'll find out why in a minute. You can probably tell by the flooring in the middle of it, but...
I am going to steal some line.
So what we do on this one is run the Picote through all directions from this manhole. Now the branch I'm going in now goes up to the toilets. The bottom left one is connected to the kitchen, and the one on the right, running left to right, is the downstream line obviously. All the other ones are all blanked off. So we're just going to run the Picote up to the toilets, and then we'll get on to the more interesting one, which is the kitchen line. This line is definitely the cleaner of the two, but you can still see bits of dirt coming back. It never harms just to machine this line through anyway. Now the downstream line is known for holding water anyway. It's been like that since day one, so we like to try and keep that one machined through as well. There is also a kitchen tap connecting into this run, but I've got the sink running in the ladies' toilets. It's right at the head of the run, and that's going to wash anything through that we machine off. Sorry, the camera cut off at the end of that recording, but I've just gone up and I've turned the sinks off, and I'm going to flush the toilets, and we should see that come through right now.
He was here and he said it's something to do with the plastic.
So exactly the same on the downstream run, and then we'll move on to that kitchen run that I've been promising you with all the grease in. Obviously there's not a lot to see on this one, so I'll skip through this line quite quickly. and onto the kitchen run. So I've got some hot water running in the kitchen already. So we're going to machine up and see what comes out. I forgot to mention this manhole's really awkward and set back under the bar, so I pushed this cable up by hand and then machined it coming back because it's just a pain otherwise. But just by doing this, you can see the amount of grease that's coming out of this line already. I've not even spun the cable yet. Also, it's worth mentioning, this kitchen pipe does actually have a stack pipe coming down from the flats above, connecting in blind onto the line, so it's teed in underground somewhere. Well, there's some of it out, so I went in the kitchen and ran all the sinks flat out, and not a lot really happened. So I think we need to machine back up this line again. In fact, I know we need to machine back up this line again. But just look at all that sludge coming down now. Yeah, I'm surprised this hadn't blocked, to be honest. Now, this site does have a grease trap, but I'm getting the impression it's not working particularly well. Obviously, there's not a lot I can do about the belly and the pipe that makes this manhole hold water. The idea of doing this service is we keep the drains flowing as quickly as possible to flush that through, and to be honest with you, it seems to work. It's not ideal, but other than dig the place up, what else can you do with it? if you look down the manhole now, you can see what I mean with it being stepped back under the bar. Sorry, I forgot to get a proper video of that. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I don't know what the other hole's about, but yeah, they've obviously done it to, yeah, rather than move the manhole to put the bar where they wanted, they've just built over it. So we've now got a bit of a jigsaw puzzle to do to get this back together, and we'll put the unit back over it and report it back to them. They're probably going to need a new cover on this because it's getting quite rusty, and get the flooring sorted out because, yeah, it's not ideal, is it? And also we'll report back to them about the grease in the line and see what they can do about that. Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, let me know you've made it all the way to the end in the comments below. Leave a like, leave a comment. Why not subscribe? If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to get this channel as big as possible, and every single one of you counts. Now, this is actually the first video that I've edited since going on holidays. I've had a bit of a break from it. But I'm hoping for some more blockages soon, and we can get some good videos. Yeah, back to it. I'm actually off to Liverpool tomorrow, but it's for a camera survey and there's absolutely nothing interesting to film. I thought I'd just also chuck in this little bit of footage of this narrow lane, because it was very tight. But yeah, as I said, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next one.
Please like and subscribe and leave a comment.